On September of this year, Britain's greatest golfer, Nick Faldo, a Ryder Cup hero, had to watch his team take defeat against America for the first time this century.
It's all over. The USA won the Ryder Cup.
We're all gutted.
The vitriol that followed his captaincy was harsh from certain quarters. It was possible that the six-time major winner may have questioned himself.
Would you do it again? We'll see. There was a few niggly things along the way that I'd have to think about.
2 months on, I caught up with him in Brazil, of all places, and found him in good spirits. He'd already recuperated. He was back to one of his day jobs, overseeing the final of the Faldo series. I wondered about the impact of that fateful week in Valhalla, and I wanted to get to know who is the man behind the golfer, often perceived as an abrasive loner during his pomp and glory. But to understand Nick, I realised you had to go back to the very beginning.
It's reckoned that about 1 person in every million is born with, for no apparent reason, perfect physical coordination. It can be an awesome combination of strength, nerve, skill and judgment. Nick Faldo is one of those 1,000,000-to-1 shots.
I was a sportsman looking for a sport, as I called it. I was given good hand and eye coordination, so I did all the sports at school and that sort of thing. Watched the Masters on TV, and I should think it was that far back, it was probably just about got colour TV, not that long, not long before. Nicklaus didn't win, but it was the vision. It was seeing Jack and the pine trees and fairways and all that. And I literally came down next morning to Mum and Dad at breakfast and says, right, let's try golf.
We had loads of ideas for him, like being a furniture designer and a jewellery designer, because he has quite a lot of flair in that direction.
So when did you first guess that he might be more than just above average?
He announced it to us one meal. We were sitting eating our meal, and he did, in cold blood, he said, but I want to play golf.
I played my first round of golf on my 14th birthday at good old Wellingarn City Golf Club, and I remember 3-putting the third green. I 3-putted the third, and I remember saying, well, that's daft. I'll never do that again. That's stupid. So, So that was...
And you were playing on your own at this point, or did you have...
Well, yeah, no, I went out on my birthday, went out on my own and off I went. Within the next year, that was it. I'd made the decision. I knew I wanted to be a professional golfer.
They said I took to it like a duck takes to water, really. First 6 lessons I could, I'd mastered everything I was told I could take in.
I think he's a bit of a miracle boy because he's only been playing golf a mere handful of years, and to have got into the Ryder Cup, to have won a couple of events, to have had the publicity that he's got over the last 2 years is quite staggering.
I deemed I turned professional on the 14th of April 1976, and then I played in my first pro event, went off to France to qualify in a good old French Open. And that was a big eye-opener. And that was in the era when you said golf course, and they went, well, not see, because it's French. It was like, ooh la la, I don't know. He said, where's the golf course? You give a name. Oh, I don't know golf. This is the taxi driver. So, it was just a mad... So it's a different world.
And, you don't want to say it, but they don't know they're born these days. It's kind of...
They are absolutely spoiled rotten. Well, they are.
One of the things that, everybody has always said about you over the years was this kind of... This insular kind of solo figure that, you didn't care about what anybody thought about you, you didn't care about necessarily having great mates on the tour. It was all about you and your tunnel vision. And kind of when you learn about how you started, it all goes back to
well,
there,
it does.
It?
You get influenced by things. My hero was Bjorn Borg. That was my first hero, and look at his style of play. And I believed, at that time, that the best way for me to play golf was put the head down, put the blinkers on and concentrate on golf. I was one of the few guys that used to go and think of golf all day on the golf course. Fanny would be in my ear going chat, and I used to sometimes say, no, come on, back to golf. And when the psychologists say, no, you've got to think of trees and pink elephants to break away. No, I did it my way.
But you have met tons of sports psychologists over the years.
It wasn't even sports psychologists. Way back in 1982, the great breakthrough that was because I was winning one tournament a year every year, and I was with Warren Humphries, and Warren Humphries said to me, do you know you're good enough to win one tournament a year? It was my seed. And then when I blurted it out to the psychiatrist, you're then like,
you've held on to this.
Oh my, because I said, there you go. He says, right, reprogram you. Are you good enough to win you're good enough to win multi-number of tournaments. Guess what? I win 5 the next year.
Your last major was 96, and the fact that in those 12 years, we haven't had an Englishman who's been able to come forwards and do anything like what you've done shows just how difficult it was to do what you did.
Yeah, a lot of people look at all the negatives. They haven't turned around and gone and picked my brains to go, well, how did you do it? Haven't quite, they've been more concerned with whatever my reputation is,